Hi, I'm Willie. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. What we're going to look at in this video is the Grandstream GWN7664. This is their largest Wi-Fi 6 access point. And, you know, as the industry keeps pushing Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E, I mean, there's even draft papers for Wi-Fi 7 out. We need to pump the brakes on that. But as you know, consumers are demanding more things and better Wi-Fi and things like that, manufacturers are going to keep pumping it out. This is the largest Wi-Fi 6 access point that Grandstream currently makes. It is a 4x4x4 MIMO access point. So physically, it has the same look as every other Grandstream AP, uses the exact same mounting system. But down here, you're going to notice it's got a 2.5 gig PoE port and a 1 gig PoE port. You've got your reset button over there. It's got, of course, the sticker with the serial number and the default password. So every default password for every Grandstream device now is different. The SSID that this broadcasts, that password works for that, and is also the admin password. And you should always change the default password. So let's take a look at the data sheet real quick. And by the way, we are recommending a lot of these, and people replace other brands, and they're just, I get so many messages about how well people's Wi-Fi works after they deploy these. And the other thing is, anytime we deploy voice over Wi-Fi, these are the APs that we use because they honor the quality of service for voice. But let's take a look at the official tear sheet here. So like every manufacturer, they're going to have some things here in the data sheets. So they say that you have a 3.55 gigabit aggregate wireless throughput, 3.5 gigabits aggregate wired throughput. Well, you cannot lag 2.5 gig port and a 1 gig port. You cannot create a link aggregation group out of those. That is not in the standard for a lag. So you can use the 2.5 gig port. You could probably use the 1 gig port as a failover. But you can get 3.55 gigabits theoretical aggregate wireless throughput. Now, take all the overhead and everything else that's going on. Are you going to get that? You'd have to test it, right? They say up to 175 meters, 750 concurrent connected devices. Now, they don't say devices that are concurrently transmitting data. They say 750 concurrent connected devices. Advanced QoS, anti-hacking, secure boot, so that you're only supposed to be able to run Grandstream firmware on here. It is PoE+. Now, the embedded controller in this can manage 50 other Grandstream APs. You can manage this with GWN.cloud, GWN Manager, or you can also manage it with the new GWN routers, which you're going to see a video on here very, very shortly. So, and really this, you do get the best bang for your buck for this for voice over Wi-Fi. And a lot of times when we're designing networks, well, actually all the time, this is what we go to. I'm deploying 3 new networks, and we're doing Grandstream. We're not doing the switches yet because I don't have the switches. I've seen the pricing and things like that. I'm supposed to have them this month, next month. We'll come back to that later on. But back over here to the data sheet, you can see that they the AP support 802.11a, b, g, n, AC, and AX. There are 8 individual internal antennas, 4 per band, so that's 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. This is not 6E, so it does not have the 6 gigahertz stuff. The 802.11ax speeds up to 2.4 gigabits per second, and on the 2.4 gigahertz up to 1.1 gigabit per second. And here you go. Truth in advertising right here. Actual throughput may vary depending on many factors, including environmental conditions, distance between devices, radio interference, and the operating environment, and a mix of devices in the network. And when these are tested, there's a very specific test environment that all these APs are tested in. Go out and check out FCC pictures of them testing wireless devices, and you'll see that. So it is 4x4x4 on the 2.4 and the 4 gigahertz. Let's see, is there anything? So you can do 32 total SSIDs, 16 per radio. Don't mind this where it says aggregate wire throughput. That's just, I think, the way that they're using aggregate here is that you have 3.5 gigs worth of Ethernet ports here. But let's see. And then the QoS supported is here. That's 802.11e, WMM, VLAN, and TOS. Anything else that we should talk about here before we go? Oh yeah, it will maximum power consumption 17 watts. The other thing that I should tell you is that this is an indoor AP only. They do have an outdoor AP, but only use these indoors or places where they're not going to be directly in the weather. All right, let's hop over to the web interface. I am running the latest firmware, so we'll see which version that is. And I know that I'm running the latest firmware because I checked for an upgrade earlier and there wasn't one. Now, anytime you log into a new Grandstream access point, you're going to get this product setup wizard that will walk you through the setup. We could do this real quick. I want to point out I'm on firmware 1.0.23.7. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, it is finding other APs on the network. And we are not going to pair those because that is actually paired with another AP. So we're never going to mind that there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this SSID GS Can You See Me Now? And there's a very specific reason why I am calling it GS Can You See Me Now? Wait until you see one of the next videos coming up here. We are going to do WPA2, WPA3 with the SAPSK, so pre-shared key. WPA encryption type is AES. TKIP is should no longer be used. It is insecure. And we are going to use one of our simple WPA passwords, and we are only going to make the GWN7664 the only device using this. So real quick, if you don't remember the Grandstream AP interface, we'll just touch on it here lightly. So anytime you make system changes, you get that reloading screen. It shows you all the services. So here under access points, we can see that our GWN7664 is online. It is the master access point. And then we can go to configuration. And we can configure this single AP. Now, you'll see when we go into some other settings, you'll see where it says radio settings. You'll see those radio settings later on. Or we can override them per AP. So I don't have a fixed IP. I could do that. LED, always on, always off schedule, band steering, balance, 2 gig, 5 gig, or disable, port aggregation. The net port type is a trunk or access. Now this is in here, and it's interesting because I've had several conversations with them, and it's my understanding, and if I don't understand correctly, but you cannot do a lag with a 2.5 gig port and a 1 gig port. That's not how the standard works, right? Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you can do that now. Let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong about that. You've got all of your different settings here. Now, one thing to notice is they do have a Wi-Fi 5 compatible mode on their access points, and you're going to want to make sure that if you have devices that are not Wi-Fi 6, that you are running in that compatibility mode. Our SSID setup down here, you can see that it's a bridge. So it's bridging our clients to the network. We could assign a VLAN if we wanted to. We are running it on both bands. That's the SSID band here. And then it did our WPA3 setup. I think it's dumb that we actually do SSID. We have the option to hide it. Who knows who came up with that, but you don't hide your SSIDs. Just, they're not meant to be hidden. And even if you hide them, I can still find them, right? Which is just going to make someone else more curious about what you've got going on there. Here you can see you can do multicast broadcast suppression. You can convert multicast to unicast. Now, right here is where we can enable enterprise voice right here. So it recognizes voice traffic, prioritizes it. You got 802.11r. So you've got some other standards that you can enable for voice and for roaming. So you've got 11R, 11K, and 11V. And it says without these, enterprise audio will be unavailable. You've got the unscheduled automatic power save delivery. You've got Bonjour gateway. You also have ARP proxy. You've got a client screen where it will show you all of your clients. You've got access control list built in here, so you can build ACLs to block clients from getting to certain things. You have time policies. We've got our bandwidth rules where we can do upload limit, download limit. So you can see megabits, kilobits per second. Same here. And then the range constraint is per SSID, per client, MAC address, IP address. So these are actually speed limits. It's not like a data cap. Then we have a captive portal that is built in. So every Grandstream access point can be its own captive portal server, or you can use external captive portals. So you can see by default, it's got the free one. I don't normally turn these on. If a client requests it, we do. Let's see, here's our radio settings. So earlier when it was referring to the radio settings, so you got your band steering, your airtime fairness, client steering, beacon intervals. Some of this stuff, unless Grandstream support or someone else that's actually in a tech support role tells you to modify it, a lot of this stuff you want to leave default. Here's your channel width. Anything on 2.4 gigahertz should always use a 20 megahertz channel. Don't use a 40 megahertz channel on 2.4 gigahertz. I know we can do it. Don't do it. Bad idea. There's your Wi-Fi 5 mode. And then here is your 5 gigahertz. And you can see that we can do 20, 40, 80. Auto channel, DFS, so we can enable broadcasting on DFS channels. And then we also have the Wi-Fi 5 compatible mode there. And this is that loading screen that when you change things, you can see all the services reload here. All right, under security, we've got Rogue AP. So they do have Rogue AP detection built in, and they do have countermeasure levels and containment. Be very careful when you use this. Do not purposefully use this to block someone else in the public band. If you get caught blocking public bands, you're going to be in trouble. Here's the detection screen where you can detect those rogue APs. Then we have firewall rules here. By the way, if you want to see more about that rogue AP stuff, let me know. Might do just a video just on that, because some people turn it on and then they cause problems, and it's a deal. Under services, you've got Hotspot 2, SNMP, so it does support SNMP version 1, 2, and 3. It does have a DHCP server built in that you can use, and then you can also join it to GWN.cloud. Under the system settings, this is where we can turn the LED on and on. We can set our web port. We can change our country region, our time zone, NTP servers. Here's where you change your admin password under the account. Here under mesh, you can enable or disable mesh. If it's enabled, you can see the topology here. You can set that Wi-Fi schedule here under create new schedule. Maintenance, this is where you upgrade the firmware, download the config, upload a config. You can set up alerting, email alerts. And then down here you can see all of your alerts, and it it goes by severity, right? So 3 red exclamation points are really bad. I'm going to go ahead and clear those. So if you've got any questions about this AP, if you want to know more, I'm telling you, we're deploying a lot of these. I've got 6 of them sitting out there right now going to a customer. So, and I run the Grandstream access points currently in my house. So, that's where we're at. I dog food it, you know, so at some point I'll probably switch to something else, but right now Grandstream is what I'm running, and we're happy with these. Clients are happy with these. So if you've got questions, let me know. It's really a nice device. MSRP on these somewhere around $200, $300, somewhere in that neighborhood. All Grandstream access points now have a minimum 3-year warranty. So actually may have been extended to 5. I'll have to double check that. Should have looked that up before the video, but they definitely have longer than a 1-year or 2-year warranty. So check that out. If you got any questions, let me know. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please comment and share. Please follow me on Twitter and TikTok. Those links are down below, along with all of our affiliate links. And if you need IT consulting, go on over to williehowe.com, click Hire Us or Contact Us, fill that information out, and someone will be in touch with you as soon as possible. Once again, I'm Willie. I want to thank you for being here. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.